Democracy for All Florida is a nonpartisan program of Florida conservation voters. Our mission is to educate, empower, and uplift the voices of BIPOC communities through community organizing and civic engagement. As you know, these communities are the most vulnerable during world crises but are often silenced and ignored. While this is true, we are also the most resilient. Through Our Eyes is a docu-series that focuses on that resiliency and highlights 3 community organizations that helped their community cope and led them through during a world pandemic and racial revolution.
We've been serving this population since the start of the pandemic. So far we've served over 5,000 people. We've given people showers, toiletries. We've been trying to get people off of the street. We put people into services and connected them with things like drug addiction services and alcohol addiction services. We have handed out over 700 tents for individuals and just provided a site where individuals could come and feel like they were human, basically.
With these, you don't want to suck it up because we want to use these over again. So far, we've tested about, I guess, almost 100 individuals. Maybe like 5 or 6 were positive, and then we've also been sending people via ambulance to the hospital who are very, very sick. We are testing right now using the blood test, which is the antibody test, which shows that if you've ever had an infection before. And you would think during a pandemic, because this is the most vulnerable population, we are the epicenter of the virus, that, you know, widespread testing would be going on, but that's not the case, specifically in Florida.
About a month ago, I got involved with the Dream Defenders, and I've been helping them collect supply, men's clothing, hygiene products, and food, and been helping them do COVID testing for this population.
We live in a state and a society that continuously prioritizes the needs of millionaires and the billionaire class, while everyday people don't have the basics they need to survive. And so we're fighting for our communities to have basic things, for everybody to have access to shelter, food, clean water, a good education, a good job. All too often our communities are criminalized and put in cages, and the only resources we get from our government are police and prison. We are in Overtown, where we're seeing the worst of the crisis, the people who are like most ignored in society, people living on the streets. And so Dream Defenders has come together to basically just make sure people have the basics that we feel like everybody deserves.
People here helped me out in the past couple of weeks, taking a shower, giving me nice shoes like these Under Armour shoes, these nice trousers, nice shirts.
We are fighting and fighting alongside Black and brown youth for their liberation. We are fighting against prisons. We're fighting to bring people home. We have vets here. We have people that work 40 hours a week here. We have people that are escaping domestic abuse here.
I know I want to spend more time directly within the city of Overtown to really get to know the people here and kind of like earn my Miami citizenship. And I'm doing that by really learning the needs and tending to the needs of the community that we serve, because a lot of folks, they call them homeless, but I personally like to say houseless, because I believe that these people have homes. They're at home in their bodies. They're housing insecure.
physically demanding. It is quite hot out here, and you know, we're constantly like bringing clothes out and laying things out. Sometimes we also take walks around the neighborhood to be able to provide people that don't know about the shower site, or maybe don't have the access to coming here with food or with water.
These people that work in the shop, they've been out here in the streets, but they don't forget where they came from.
The day goes really well with them, I think, once they have a good day here, coming to see people, to be able to relate and talk.
If there are people that can't get their most basic needs met, then there is no freedom.
When you provide services like this to individuals who are living on the street, it doesn't encourage them to continue to be homeless. Nobody chooses to be homeless. It was just to show the city and the county what they can do with a little bit of money, a lot of support, and a lot of love.
What happened when the pandemic started? What happened with your community? What did you see?
I saw needs for food, people calling other churches and churches calling us. We are a nonprofit without no income. She started contacting people, I started contacting people. We went through a friend of mine. Today she's running for mayor of the city. So she told me, I'm gonna get you a warehouse. So she got us this warehouse through a friend of hers. They pay the electric, they pay the water, they pay everything, the trash, insurance, the whole thing. And it's temporarily a home for us to be able to distribute this food. This is such a great need.
We started contacting companies to see if they can help us with forklifts, or they can help us with reefer trucks, or even transportation from event to event. Because this warehouse that we have, we do solely distribution from here. We receive the food here, and then we send the food to different locations or different zip codes that are in need. And that's where we do the events, and we work with other organizations.
Helps us. They send us boxes as much as they can. So they started sending me fruits and vegetables. Sometimes they'll send me chicken and fruits and vegetables. Randomly, they sent us tomatoes and cucumbers the other day.
Hot dogs. This one's our chicken.
And that is really good. Ground beef already seasoned.
This is taco filling for tacos.
You can make spaghetti with it.
You have oranges down here.
We have some red peppers, eggplant, quarter chicken.
That chicken
legs.
is pre-cooked.
Yeah, it's pre-cooked and seasoned. We have smoked turkey.
It's been challenging. We've been blessed with a lot of great people, a lot of good corporations that have helped us, a lot of small businesses that have helped us, and I think that we all have stories of stuff that we've gone through, or people in a line, or people that just need help with an application because of a language barrier, and we've been there to be able to help them do that, and I think that's important. I just have so many touching stories of different people that are really going through something, and you see the pain in their eyes. You see a mom with 3 kids, and you see them, and you give them one of these food boxes that are 32 pounds, and sometimes they can't even walk with them. I had an elderly lady that she must have been 70-something years old. little old lady with white hair, and she came walking in one of our food lines, and I told her, you can't walk up because it has to be drive-through only. And she came through the back of the line, and she just looked at me with her eyes, and she says, "Can I hug you?" And I was like, "Well, we're not supposed to," but I hugged her anyways, and I gave her a food box, and she told me she had 83 days. Stories like that make what we do,
worthwhile. Worth the 12-hour days.
And 12 and plus. 12 and plus.
And 7 days a week.
7 days a week.
What services do you think should have been helpful?
I think the unemployment application should have been fixed right away. It took months for it to be updated. In an emergency situation like this, our country could put a rocket up there in the moon and have the men up there living and walking on the moon, and we can't fix an unemployment software. People didn't get their money. I'll give you an example. We provide a lot of food to the employees of the Goodwill. Goodwill industry is very big. They have 1,800 employees. They have seamstress. They make $8.65 an hour. The manager that oversees the seamstress makes $9 an hour. Who could live in Miami Dade with $360 a week?
FANM is what we call a one-stop center. It was designed in a way so that when our members walk in, no matter where they are from, they can access different services, mental health, counseling, domestic violence intervention, which is a big issue for our neighborhood, access to health care, which we consider a basic human right, access to affordable housing. We also have after-school programs for the kids, because many times our members work 2-3 jobs.
Hey, what did you do? Did you take notes for your mom? You took notes? Yeah. Okay. Okay, go continue to work. Okay.
A lot of them are from immigrant communities. They go wherever the job is. For example, we have members who live here in Little Haiti, and then yet they work in Key Largo and Key West. Naples, it is inconceivable. Parents started to bring their children to the center, and we had to fight sometimes in the courts to get parents reunited with their children, because oftentimes those parents from underserved neighborhoods, it's so that they want to leave the children alone. Sometimes they don't have any choice. We need to create spaces and opportunities for us to educate our children. And since we are not there yet, we need to develop leadership programs so that at a very young age, they understand where they came from. If they know where they came from, what their parents, their ancestors had to go through to be where they are today, that will prevent them from getting into, activities that will not be positive for themselves and their family members. The pandemic has wreaked havoc in the lives of those who even before the pandemic were striving to make ends meet. The pandemic has really highlighted the big economic divide, the economic gap. After the stimulus package came down, we actually got the crumbs. Who got the big dollars, the billion, millions, are well-to-do companies, those who have accountants who know how to use the system to their advantage. Unemployment system here was rigged by the previous governor by design to discourage people to access benefits that they invest. This is a system that is designed to keep us down. Because the black and brown community suffered more losses in human lives than any other group. And that is why you see such a lack of interest from the top to address it, because the people who are dying are people who look like us. So now, in the midst of that, now they have to think about eviction, being expelled from their from spaces. Where are they gonna go? 5,000 evictions, and then more and more are coming. That's why we at FANM, we are taking measures to address this eviction plans, right? And then we're trying to reach out to people who are being evicted, who are facing evictions, to give them the tools to fight back. We also organize our members to fight locally, statewide, and nationally. We need volunteers for that. We bring members to DC to meet with lawmakers. We advocate for policy change, policies that have a negative impact on our lives. We give our members the tools to contribute to their own empowerment and transformation, to become, leaders in their own right. The vivid death of George Floyd on national media really brings forth some of the ills of this society. The high level of racism and xenophobia. If we don't stand up, no one will.
What do we want? Conviction! When do we want it? Now!
What we need is the revolution! Even when we stand up, we are trying to minimize our intent. We need to transform this country. We need to build a country where every life is important, every voice is important.
I will never give that up. Our spirits, our ancestors are with us. We need them in order to win.
We want our volunteers to help us build this new world where everyone feels valued and empowered.